Journey, it's a long question, a discussion, but ultimately we need to find the answer. The question is the team lead is having a coaching session with a team member. Lead is saying, we have noticed that your work is a few days late again. And team member says, it is, I took extra time to fine tune settings before handing off to the release team. Lead says, okay, we have been through for this far for the last 4 sprints and we need to resolve it. After sprint 3, you blamed a faulty technical setup for the delay. But we found out that was not accurate. He's saying, I am doing the fine tuning. When they further dig it out, they found it that whatever he said, it was not accurate. Do you think you can give us more realistic estimates next time so we can make it better? Yes, I was wrong. I thought it was realistic, but I realized that after 3 sprints, my method must be flawed. Do you want to do a planning session together so we can find out a better way? Team member C, yes, that would be helpful. I know that my delay is causing the stress on the stream. Which two steps in emotional intelligence has this team member just realized? He has realized his estimates were wrong, right? He was not accurate. And he realized that because of him, it's a stress on the team members. So please try to answer on the chat window as usual. And we need to select two answers. So what two answers are correct in this regard, please? Thank you very much, Mr. Mohsin. I was about to send you the message today. What happened? You were one of the regular attendees and you are missing since 2-3 weeks.
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Imran. I was actually out of the picture for last few months.
Yes. But welcome back. Yes, Miss, correct. Mr. Zubair, correct. Miss Hiba, one is correct, not the first one. Nebo, your also second is correct, not first one. It's not about control, right? And you didn't discover anything. So it's about self-assessment that you think that you are causing something and you're not defining, I think so. So you are managing. That's what the emotional intelligence, right? Self-assessment and self-management. These are the two things. Emotional intelligence is what? Self-assessment, self-control, social awareness, and social control. These are the 4 elements, right? Self-awareness and self-control, social awareness, and social control. So this is what assessment or awareness and then management or control. So these are the 2 elements of emotional intelligence. So yes, C and E was the correct answer. Here you are not practicing control, here you are practicing assessment of yours. Great, no problem. It's good that we got some information, and for that you have to go and read out the topic of emotional intelligence. So all your doubts will be cleared. And emotional intelligence chapter point is in the slide of resource chapter slides. So you can find it there in more details. Great. Let's go next. To improve its culture for workers and organization leadership teams wants to provide something. Other services such as something for the next calendar year. Team needs to decide how to implement the new services. Leadership wants these services in place as soon as possible. So team holds the brainstorming sessions. Which 2 questions should the team explore to begin implementation of the services? Is this the part of the team? Answer it on the mic, you can. This is the task for the team, company's growth strategy.
No.
No.
Never. So it can never be the right answer. Gone. Directly out of the league. How will the company determine who is eligible for the services. Anything related to the company is all is anytime, whether you are in agile project, whether you are in predictive project. So it's never the part of the team. Organization is separate, right? And project is separate. They should not have any correlations, otherwise they will be disturbed. So now two answers are wrong, remaining C, D, and E. We need to choose two. Over to you guys. Thank you, Mr. Sir. I saw it today. Great. Welcome back. Mr. Devan, yes. Never, no. You don't need to care about what you are doing actually. Which two questions should the team explore to begin implementations? So question for implementation, not question for the benefits. So remaining answers are C and D. We are discussing about implementations. We are not discussing about features. If I change the word features or any, what we call it, non-functional matrix or something like this. So yeah, E could be the correct answer, but now the problem is implementation related. So that's why E is also out of the league. That's why C and D are correct. So as I always say, but if you guys keep forgetting the thing, this is our question. You must focus on the last part of the question. This information is good background, but we need to filter it. We need to learn to filter it. Like I read it in front of you. To improve its culture, you are doing something. You have to read like this. You are doing something. It's not your problem what they are doing. What is their business, what they are doing, it's not your problem. You're a project manager and you have to lead a project. What company does is not your problem. Next, a project's goal. Now it is the purpose to improve the process through automation and staff development. Team sent initial survey to staff to assess their satisfaction with the current process and now working to find the responses. Top 4 responses, the current process works fine. The current process needs fixing. We need better trainings. We don't need any more training. Which 2 activities should the project team perform first? Job satisfaction survey, likelihood to recommend, risk analysis, Moscow diagram, or lesson learned. Which will be your 2 answers on the list for the activities you will perform as a team first. Reason is what? Customer service process. So process and training and training. Which 2 answers you will choose? Yes, your first answer is okay. Second, I think it's a typo. I don't know what is it. Naman, not in the list. Yes, 1 is correct. Yes, your first message first is wrong. Second is correct. So where you are, the current process worked fine. The current process needs fixing. It has something to do with job satisfaction.
No,
It's
no, no.
HR related thing, right? It's not the job thing. So it cannot be
Yes,
the answer.
yes.
And we are not discussing anything related to the lesson learned for the improvement. It has already been done. So this is also gone. Likelihood to recommend what? Likelihood to recommend what? You already have 4 responses. What will be the purpose of recommending? So this is also out of the league. Now remaining two things are risk analysis and Moscow diagram. Moscow diagram will be used for prioritization, while risk analysis will be used to find out what are the positive and negative risks for the recruitments. That is why risk analysis. Because when we perform the process improvement, process analysis and process improvement analysis, the first thing we see is what risk, that what is negative here and what is positive here. And once we find out what is negative and what is positive here, we use a word in our PMP, which was recently introduced. What we call this thing? That we try to do this in our process. There is a very good terminology for it. What we call it? Value stream analysis, value stream mapping. Great. So we have ultimately reached to the correct answer, which is C and D. Let's go next. A project manager has drafted a plan while working with stakeholders. He observes that the key stakeholder priorities are vastly different from the priorities of all stakeholders. If you are the project manager and you have this situation, key stakeholder means you can say the sponsor or these type of peoples or shareholders and the other stakeholders. Key stakeholders say site upgrades and user improvement in a 9-month schedule, while stakeholders says user improvement in a 3-month project schedule. Stakeholder A has openly stated that the broader scope and longer schedules are necessary for project success. What should the project manager do first to get this project management plan approved? It's all about the stakeholder engagement, right? Ask the key stakeholder to present the data to support the business case for a longer schedule and broader scope. Negotiate with all key stakeholders until they agree to common scope and schedule baseline. This is your task as a project manager. Whose task is this?
Sponsor.
Sponsor.
The sponsor task, right? So it means this answer is out of the league. Now we have similar thing. Facilitate a meeting with all the stakeholders to agree the scope and schedule baseline. When B cannot be the answer, so for sure C cannot be the answer. Can you ever do this as a project manager?
No.
No.
We will never work for one person, right? So this is
Yeah.
also out of the league. Remaining answer is A. You are the boss. Go explain everyone. Convince by yourself once you finish. Because I am what? I am the execution guy. I am not here to negotiate. I will negotiate for my things, not for the scope of work. The scope of work is the primary responsibility of a sponsor. Before a sponsor, who is there? Who makes the scope of work? Before a sponsor. Pre-project. Pre-project is who? With whom we have to work in collaboration as a project manager.
Customer.
In the customer organization, who is the guy? Who prepares the business case and benefits management plan? Business analyst prepares, right? He prepares the document called business case and benefits management plan, and he also prepares the feasibility study. So they have to talk to each other. Don't talk to me. I just need the finalized scope of work so I can execute it. So yes, we have reached to the correct answer, which is what? A. Let's move to the next question. Wow. An agile team has, if you have the question exam like this, which for sure 70-80% questions are left this size. An agile team has identified several risks during the last retro, including the chance of hiring a contractor to double the speed of a of something during the next iteration. How should the team classify the risk? Emergent risk, issue, a threat as an opportunity, and I think you should answer it within few seconds. There's only one correct answer here. Exactly, Mr. Devan. Very good. Zubair, no, come on. Naveed and Asghar, yes, good. Miss, yes. Miss Bindan, yes. Miss Osama, Miss Hibana. You found out the chance. Chance is what? Negative risk or positive risk?
Positive.
So, threat is the negative. It cannot be the answer. Emergent is what? New risk. Issue is what? Risk has occurred. But what we are discussing the risk. So issue cannot be the answer. So chance is what? Positive risk. So it's an opportunity. So if we think we can add the contractor, we can finish the things early. So this is the positive risk event. And what we should do when we have opportunity, what are the responses? Now, because we are here, can someone tell me what are the responses for positive risk? Who will tell me the responses for the positive risk? Who will tell me the positive risk? You can type on the chat window, you can speak on the mic, most welcome. I have no problem. Okay, you guys can forget so easily. The responses are exploit, enhance, and share. Right? These are the responses. What are the common ones between positive and negative? Two are not here. In both cases, if you cannot do anything, what we have to do?
Share it.
No, share it already there. In both cases, if you cannot do it by yourself, so you have to
Accept or transfer.
Accept.
accept
Escalate.
or escalate.
Escalate.
Right? This is common in both negative and positive. And the negative ones are what? If now we have done it, so let's do it. When we do exploit, in negative, we do avoid. We do enhance in positive and we mitigate in negative. We share in positive and we transfer in negative. Right? These are the responses. These are the positive and these are the negative. And in both cases, what we do? Escalate and accept. And now because we are here, and I'm glad that majority of you are here. So accept have two types of things. We have passive acceptance and active acceptance. Management reserves will be used in passive or active?
Passive.
Passage. Yeah, management reserve will be used in passive, and we use management reserve for workarounds, right? Unplanned risk responses. While in active, we use contingency response, which means we have the risk response or we have fallback plan, the plan B. Great. Good learning. Keep going. Everyone is enjoying, I hope. Next. A production project is halfway complete. Team is working well and optimistic about goals. Company is having significant personal issues and has lost many of their senior technicians to startups who are providing better salaries. Worse is VP request to use the team most senior technical resource for a new project. You are already suffering with the resource or scarce resource shortage, and another one is leaving now. If you are the team lead, what you will do? Ask the VP if the resource can be shared until streamlining project is complete. Make the case for keeping the resource to ensure the project outcomes are realized. Reallocate the team member to manufacturing and hire two generalists for streamlining. Outsource that resources responsibility on the streamlining team to a specialist. What you will do as a team lead? For you, your project is great. For you, your project is great. This is the hint. I will focus only on my project. Being a project manager, my project is the highest priority. Yes, Ms. Hossa and Mr. Naman is very good. Hafiz, yes. Divan, yes, good. So I think you guys have realized the hint. And the hint is your project is top priority. Reallocate the team member to manufacturing. Who are you to do that? Outsource. It's not your decision. It has to go with the change requests. You will need to take approvals. So yes, C and D cannot be the answer. And B, A is like negotiating. Why you have to negotiate it? I need to finish my project because the other project has not started yet. It's next week. It has not started yet. So yes, B is the correct answer in this situation. Great. Let's go next. At a party, people are having friendly, open conversations about which team is the fastest. And I think we discussed this question in training. I don't remember which batch it was, but in some we have done it. One person laughs and says that team A has a velocity of 20, B has a velocity of 40. So team B will be receiving bonuses. How should the leader of a team A react? Be embarrassed that team B is more effective, say nothing, it's a party. Ask that person how they know this and remind them, say nothing because each team has its own capacity and velocity is not used to compare teams. And I think answer is very easy. It's like a few second question. Yes, all of you have answered correct. We don't measure with the points. Maybe they have a difficult task, maybe other person have less difficult task. So velocity is not used to compare the team. Velocity is used to check how many story points we are doing per iteration to adapt. Great, good answer. Let's go next. Enterprise Z has partnered with a company to deliver a certain something. The results are reviewed each month. Enterprise Z has been clear about their preferences and tolerances in SLA. What is the best tool to monitor the delivery of product? Scatter diagram, control chart diagram, affinity diagram, or cause and effect diagram? tolerance in SLA. This is the hint. No miss. No. It's far away. If you guys are answering this, remember this means categorizing or grouping the requirement. And question is not saying anything related to categorizing or grouping the requirement. So C cannot be the answer. Scatter plot is used to track relationship between two variables or more. So there is nothing like this in question. Cause and effect diagram is used to find out that all have the same. Because I told you, remember this keyword, same. It seems to you that all problem have same cause. Control chart is the thing. Tolerance word is actually belong to the control chart, that you will have a control chart. You will define the mean value and you will define the lower and upper limit. And you have defined how much up and how much lower you can do. So control chart diagram will be used to monitor this. So those who have answered B, yes, their answer is correct. And for remaining, I have already explained why these things are used. So you can remember with the keywords. Great. Very good. Keep going. An agile team is nearing the end of the project and has been able to complete all stories and deliver value to the client. However, the coach has noticed that the coding standards are not up to par. What should the team do? Not team leader, team do. Update the definition of done. This is the task of team.
No.
Who is there?
Team leader.
Who will do? No. Who have the
Product-
authority on definition?
Product owner.
Product owner. Who will do this? Who will do this?
Team leader.
Customer. Team leader
Yeah.
will talk to customer. Never. Product owner talks to the customer. Add the work to the backlog. Who does it?
PO, sir.
Directly PO. The remaining answer is D anyway. Update the code during the sprint. The sprint is the property of team, right? Dedicated to ensure quality. So update the code during the sprint, dedicated to ensuring quality is the answer for this question. I hope I explained it well and you guys remember it and can remember it. Product backlog is the property of team owner. Voice of the customer is product owner. Definition of done is also the task of product owner. There is something called definition of done, and there is another similar word, which means that you have sufficient information to start with. What we call that? Definition of done is the acceptance criteria. The second thing is called as you have sufficient information to start the work. What we call this thing? It's a similar meaning word. Similar word. This is DOD. The second one is what? What is it? Definition of. I have given you half. One word is remaining.
Definition of acceptance.
No. Definition of. Who remembers? So many students sitting here. One is definition of done and second is definition of ready. That you have sufficient information to start the work. And both are the responsibilities of Mr. Product owner. Great. So your skills have been listed, right? Within 2 to 3 months, you have not performed anything and you have not opened the course. No problem. This is a good exercise. Take it as an opportunity, not as like guilty feeling. Organization merged. PMO creates a team They decided to prioritize, then figure out what needs to be done to create an interim organization that meets the leadership needs. Which two techniques should the project team use? And when you read this word, you should have something in your pop-up, right? So what should the team do? And I think answers are not matching, right? Here the answer should be what? You guys keep answering without thinking what is it. The answer should be what? Moscow and Kano analysis. Or we have the dot voting method or 100-point method for the prioritization, or it could be relative priority, or it could be customer based priority. These are the prioritizations technique. MashaAllah, you have answered all. Very good. I think I should do this type of wildcard, right? It came by mistake, but I should throw the wildcard. Even the answers were wrong, and you guys have successfully selected the answers by yourself instead of thinking what they are asking. Think, open your mind while you're solving the question. Do not close yourself. These all are the wrong answers. None of them are the correct answers. Now, these are the answers if you look. Which two techniques should the project team use? That was, I think, copy paste mistake. And you know the answers now. Creates a team with the required expertise, prioritized, figure out what needs to be done to create an interim organization. And these dashes are the keywords to find the answer. Hafiz, one is correct. Second is not. First is correct. Qualitative analysis is done for low, medium, and high. And brainstorming is what? Ideas. Gap analysis is from current state to future state. Decision tree is what? You have multiple options to check. EMV, expected monetary value, and value stream mapping is beneficial, right? The things which will add value. So the question talks about anything related to the risk. When answer is no, it means B and E can never be the right answers. And they are not generating ideas. So D is also out of the league. Remaining is what? Value stream mapping and gap analysis. Figure out what needs to be done. What needs to be done is what? Gap analysis. And they need to make the better team, right? They have merged it. So PMO creates a team with the required expertise. So what you have done, assign the value to the team, that which team will be better. So yes, those who have answered A and C are the correct answers. And decision tree and qualitative is because of the risk. Wrong answers. So even if you are confused with and you don't know how to select the answers, so use the same approach as I said. Qualitative is risk, cannot be the answer. Decision tree is risk, cannot be the answer. Brainstorming is ideas, cannot be the answer. Remaining, you will have always the correct options. And then you can read them loud that, okay, yes, it is correct or incorrect. That will help you to understand it. Great. Let's go next. A project manager joins with the globally distributed team, fixed budget, very tight deadline, so he is in a bad shape. How can you avoid scope creep and keep the team focused to deliver the right product during the planning phase? Ask all development team leads to prepare detailed requirement. Hold daily stand up with all of the development teams. Put any changes to scope through the formal change request process. Prevent stakeholders from direct interactions with the team. Problem is what? You need to avoid scope creep. This is your key. That team can only deliver what is required, not more, not less. Not more, not less. Exactly half is very good. Miss, no, Naveed, no. Mostly there's only one answer and both answers we have found out they are incorrect. Devan, yes. As well, no. You guys all the problem, you guys are not understanding the problem. Problem is in the question, which is the circle one. This is the problem. If you understand the circle, you can easily answer it. So this is the problem. The only way you can avoid scope creep is let every change go to the change request. Anyone comes to you, add it? No. Tell him go to the process. What is the name of the process? Where we put this? It's in the integration. What we call this process? Perform integrated change control. And we have a board. What we call the board? Who's sitting there? Change control board. So every change request will be submitted to them. When I have reached to this question, may I have the privilege to ask from someone of you who remembers what is the process of change? If I make the flow chart. Anyone remembers the flow? That stakeholder will file the change request. What you will do as a project manager first? You will?
Impact analysis.
No.
Evaluate the change.
No,
Submit
no.
to the
Enter in the change log.
Thank you very much. Enter into the change log. Then impact, right?
Impact analysis. Yeah.
After impact, submit to the change control board. If approved, what you will do? Update the required document, communicate to the stakeholder, and provide the updated documents to the team for execution, right? If rejected, then just update the stakeholders. If deferred, then you will resubmit to the change control board on the required date. And if it is approved, if it is rejected, like this. That is what the change control process. I hope now you remember it or you can recall it. Which changes project manager can approve it without taking it to the change control board? Which type of changes? We have defect repair. We have preventive. We have baseline. If this is A, consider this B, consider this C, and consider D what preventive, defective, corrective. Okay. Defect repair, preventive, corrective, and baseline. Out of those four, which project manager does not need permission from the sponsor? or I can change my question for which he needs the permission from the sponsor. That means should be approved by the sponsor. Which type of changes can be done by the? Go ahead, Asghar.
Baseline.
Baseline
I
will be done, yeah, by the change control board or sponsor. These three can be done by the project manager. Where we define it? Where we define it that who can approve what type of change? What we call this thing? We establish the governance. And governance of the PMP, which is project management plan. We define the RACI, that who can approve what type of change in which situations. So that is what our change management procedure and everything. Great, good work. Let's go next. A client is making a lot of, this is the same thing. Indicating they are urgent and critical. What action should you do as a project manager? Reject the change. Can you reject anything by yourself? You have the authority to reject,
No.
No.
right? So B is out of league. Escalates the client's behavior to sponsor. He or she is not your wife or spouse. You will escalate to the upper level. No need to do that. Put the request into the iteration backlog. Iteration backlog, which means you are accepting it. So yes, correct answer is A. Very good. Very nice. I'm happy that you guys are following the trend. Let's go further to the next. An agile team is in dire need of additional resources. So department decide to add another team. A few teams are possible candidates. So management decided on using a performance test to decide which team to add for 10 iterations. Who should be responsible for hiring the new team? A very basic question, but it has a lot of information. Who is responsible for hiring the new team? The word is hiring, okay, not acquiring. They both have different meanings. So don't answer as per acquiring. Asghar, yes, your answer is correct. Naved, yes, very good. Very yes. When they have taken the decision, so they have to hire them. Very good, miss, both of you, Ms. Eba and Ms. Usman. So yes, when they have it, so they should do it also. Very good. Next. An agile team has been asked to update the project artifacts. Which two should be updated? What are the artifacts here of agile? These are like seconds questions. You should answer in seconds. So sir, the first one is not, second is correct. Miss, both of your answers are fortunately wrong. Zubair, first is correct, not the second. Hafiz, we need to select two, but this is correct answer anyway. They want, we need to select two answers. This one is correct answer, find another correct answer. Naveen, the last one is not the thing. Miss, second is not correct. Naman, last one is not correct. MashaAllah, you guys don't know what are the project artifacts in Agile. Really? These are the project artifacts in Agile. Milestone slip chart. What is milestone slip chart? There is nothing like this. And roadmap. What is the alternative word of roadmap in Agile? Roadmap we use in productive. In Agile, what we use? Anyone remembers the name?
Process map.
Mhm. Another answer?
Flowchart, sir.
Roadmap and flowchart. What is the connection? Release plan. How the product will be delivered, in which increments. This is the name in predictive. This is the name in Agile. Great. We have good time.
Sir, but burn up and burn down chart related to story points, right or no? Sir?
Yeah, they are the artifacts. They are asking artifacts, isn't it? They are saying what are
Okay,
the
sir.
artifacts. Okay, let's go. Wow. How to read this type of question, okay? A team is developing something. During a visit, client observes concerning on the information radiators. Burn down depicts the progress of 3 weeks iteration. The team is 1/3 of the way through the iteration, but the actual progress reflects team is behind the planned progress. So there is a problem in the information radiators. Client express concern and ask the team lead to discuss it with the product owner. How should the team lead respond? Advise the client that no action is required because the team is in the middle of the iteration. Ask the product owner to address the performance issues. Performance issue is related to product owner or team lead?
No,
Team
it's
leads.
a team lead.
Team lead, right? So this answer is anyway wrong. Meet with each team member individually. This is the task of team lead or team members. Team lead
Members.
never comes in between, right? Team leads never come in between with the team members. Team member has to find out by themselves. This is wrong. And again, product owner will never be in the performance things. This answer is gone. Remaining is advise the client that no action is required because the team is in the middle of iteration. If iteration finish and we found out that this burn down chart was not accurate, then instead of punishing, what we will do? We will learn this thing in the retrospect that why it has happened by mistake, by because of any reason, because of underestimating it, or because of underestimating the complexity of the features, why it has happened. So we will improve it because as a team lead, you are there to provide the psychological safety, right? An environment, you have to provide an environment which have psychological safety of the team, not to punish them. This does not happen in Agile. Great. So have solved a good amount of questions, and all those who have appeared new, they can send me the message on the WhatsApp, and I will share the course link with them. And from tomorrow, I have another batch is starting. If you have forgotten everything, and if you want to restart your journey, you are most welcome to join with the same meeting link. And if you think that your friends can enroll and they can also join, so most welcome. They can also join, but not free. They have to pay for that. And a part of that, I will share the URL or the website address for the course, which I have made it. It has a day by day task to be done, which is approximate to 30 days. 13 days will be for the chapters, 14 days Agile day, And from day 15 onwards, there are 4 tests already uploaded, and 2 I already have it now. I will upload them by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So there are already 6 tests, 6 full tests available to be performed. Keep moving forward on those tests. So you don't need to sit and enjoy. Think if you are making mistakes, no problem. Keep making mistakes and learn from your mistakes and keep moving ahead and try to finish all the tests as soon as possible. So advantage will be what? You will just keep removing the things. And whenever you solve the questions, please don't try to recall your book information all the time that you have to recall it. What is the definition? Why I don't know this? Maybe I missed it. I didn't read it. No problem. The purpose of question solving is actually the same. What is the purpose of question solving? That you should be able to solve the question as soon as you finish it. It's not like you have to keep thinking, I did not study this. If this question has come in exam, I will be failed. None of the question will never come in the exam because every question will be unique. You will never be close enough to find out. So don't go into that trap that I have forgotten and I don't know how to do it and so on. No. Keep moving forward and keep doing the things, because that is how you can find out the gap. Like as I was asking questions and I was asking the reply for the risk, majority of you were unable to recall it. So no problem, it's good. But now you need to move on. Make a 25 to 30 days plan and ultimately you will be able to pass within a month. Try to pass it, since a lot of time majority of you are not even thinking about it. So I will recommend that you guys try to finish it as soon as possible, so we can actually finish it. Since I think Jan, no one is passing the exam because they are scared, maybe. Especially the December and January batch, you should be hot enough to pass the exam because you were very near to the learning. And again, if you are not, then you can start the journey from tomorrow. I'm always available. You can always ask me that, Imran, I need to do this. Please send me, please let me do this. So I'm always available for that. Any questions I can answer now, I would love to do that. If you have no questions, then thank you very much. It was a very lovely exercise today, and I'm very glad to see majority of you today, which is really very motivating for me. So keep me motivated, keep coming, and keep passing the exam also.